Hello, I'm Zebarsis. This is the 5th episode of the Teaching of Isaac. Once again, I've randomed a character. It's actually the same character I randomed in the very first episode. If I ever random the same character twice in a row, then I'll play someone different. I'll just random again. But it's been a few runs, so let's do Samson again. Remember, don't be fooled by these huge guys. Even though they're one of the less stronger enemies, double damage can ruin your day really quick when they're that big. Because even though it looks innocent, you saw how that one just blew up. The double damage one could have done the same thing to me. This is a good item. It's not good when you don't have any cards. It lets you use your card essentially infinite times, as long as you could charge it up. So my goal now is to find a card, preferably a good one. So Samson's inner power is to deal more damage as he gets hurt. Sometimes it's actually more beneficial to get hurt on purpose at the beginning. That way later on you'll be dealing more damage to your enemies and less likely to be hit. I'm trying to save as much health as I can since there's a sacrifice room. But I did get hit earlier. But that's alright. These big rooms, like I've said before, just keep circling around the edges and clear out the lesser enemies that are following you first. You can still go after the big guys though, because everything is circumstantial after all. Sometimes as you're circling around, maybe one of the larger enemies is blocking your path entirely. Then of course in scenarios like that, you're going to want to change targets. Watch out for these guys, they blow up. So you have to decide whether you want to finish them off or if you want to run away. So if you're not sure, just get out of there, make some space and shoot them. Now those guys are kind of tough because they kind of follow your movements. If you've ever fought the Haunt before, how his little ghosts follow you and they seem to be tracking you. It's kind of the same with those flies, just not as drastic. But the general rule is just keep moving, don't stop. No card for me, but that's alright. So don't worry about the little guy at the beginning so much. Focus mostly on the big one. Because the little guy is constantly being blocked by the bigger one. But in my case, even though I just said don't worry about him so much, he's kind of in my way. Either way, prioritize the big one. It does make it a little bit easier if you do whittle down the small one ahead of time though, once he does break apart. But once you fight this guy long enough, once you fight this guy long enough, you kind of learn to deal with the little guy. See right here, I have him up against the wall and I'm just kind of holding it down. That's the most ideal scenario when fighting him. but it usually doesn't end up that way. You may have to just hold him back with your tears and just keep moving. But if you can bait him up against the wall when he becomes one little guy, then your fight is won. So this is experimental treatment. It's a difficult item to deal with. The reason why is because it randomizes what stats you lose and what stats you gain. Sometimes you pick this up, you could get the worst deal possible, or it could be amazing and you get HP up and damage up and speed up and everything's fine. Experimental treatment, it's a luck of the draw. Now what you can do to give yourself an advantage is if you know you have only one heart, this can't take away a heart from you if you only have one heart. So in a situation like that, it's probably best to take it because you won't lose a heart. So you're more likely to get an advantage on your stats. I have 3. I have something to lose. So I have to decide if I want to do that or not. While I'm thinking about that, taking a quick glimpse at the map to see if there's a secret room. But level 1 breaks the rules of trying to find secret rooms, and it's not obvious. In fact, I don't feel comfortable about the location of the secret room here. I'm guessing it's here. But like I've said, since it breaks the rules, I don't know for sure. So I only have 1 bomb. I don't want to gamble in this case. I want to save it, and that way when level 2 comes around, I'll be more likely to get it. Even here, this super secret room might be here. Super secret room might be here, since each of them would be attached to one room technically. But I don't know which one. And I only got 1 bomb, 1 shot. Not gonna try. So I probably should not take this. It's okay to take experimental treatment if you're already in a good position, especially since experimental treatment contributes towards the spun transformation. You get 3 syringes, you turn into a monstrosity that deals extra damage. Or it's good to take if you already know you have like 2 syringes, then fine. You could take the hit even if it's a bad combination of stats. So there's a lot of factors involved. I know I've spent a lot of time talking about this one item. So now, I would normally skip it, but just for demonstrative purposes, I'll grab it. We'll see what I get. So I would say that's a loss. I gained 1 health, which is great, but I lost a solid point of damage, and I lost a little bit of speed. So I don't think that's a win in my book. That's a loss. But hey, now I'm 1 step closer to the spun transformation. And I knew the risks ahead of time. Now I got a crazy amount of shot speed, but that doesn't help me that much. Now my base damage is worse than Isaac's. I have to bank on getting a good card so that way I can capitalize on the blank card. The most ideal scenario for me would be probably the Hierophant or some kind of rune like Algiz, which being able to use an Algiz rune as much as you want practically is very beneficial, especially if you find a blood donation machine. You can just exploit the heck out of it. Don't know if I said it or not, but the Algiz rune makes you immortal for... It's a really long time. It feels like 30 seconds. I don't actually remember how long it is, but boy is it a long time. And now thanks to the experimental treatment, this video is going to take an extra 20 minutes probably. Oh well. That's the risk. This room, just run. You can slowly whittle down the flames if you like. But, what I was going to say is you're unlikely to get hit. But bear in mind that the experimental treatment slowed me down. And I got hit. So my devil deal chance is now going to be 36%. Used to be 100. The odds are not in my favor, and this is probably going to be an annoying run now. So stay away from the big one. If you're in a situation where you don't have any safe space to run to, just get away from the most ruthless enemy. In which case, it's going to be the double damage one. This soul heart would have been nice earlier, because when I got damaged earlier, I could have avoided losing my devil deal chance. Now I'm actually going to wait before I go there, because there could be a secret room right below it, and that would allow me to bypass spending a key. I would like to skip using a key if I could. Ouch. That was bad. Because I want to go in the shop and buy a card if I get the money. Because my blank card right now is totally useless. So I know there's no secret room here because it's blocked off. So I'm just going to go in here. Infestation. It could work well with Samson if I get the IV bag. Every time you get hurt, you spawn, I don't remember if it's flies or spiders or both. I think it's spiders, but either way, you spawn bugs whenever you get damaged. So with the IV bag, that could help. Alright, so two things. One, infestation doesn't give you spiders, it only gives you flies. And two, picking up infestation counts towards the Beelzebub transformation. If you collect 3 different fly items, you transform into Beelzebub, and that allows you to have flight, but also it makes most fly enemies get converted into blue flies. Alright, and this is where the room is. You want to take advantage of your bombs and do what you can with them. There's only so many bombs you have per level. This seems to be a really common theme. I find a lot of secret rooms, and I feel like a third of them are just poop. I hesitated slightly because I'm thinking of bombing him. Since I only have a 36% chance of a devil deal, if I bomb the shopkeeper, it's going to increase my chances. So look at the shot speed that I have. It's actually making things a little bit harder, because when I shoot this guy, they kind of fly pretty far. And having your enemies bounce around like that makes them less predictable and harder to dodge. But there isn't too much you can do about shot speed. Okay, there's a tinted rock there. I want it. So I'm not going to bomb the shopkeeper quite yet. In fact, I might not do it at all. So here's what I should have done. I should have put a bomb right here instead. There's probably a super secret room here. I might have been able to reach the tinted rock and bomb the wall at the same time. I'm not completely sure now, but I know this is where I put the bomb earlier. Actually, it might have been a little bit too far. So maybe I couldn't have bombed both at the same time. Well, things aren't going my way, but time for the boss, and let's hope I get a devil deal. So I need some damage badly because of the experimental treatment. The experimental treatment also gave me a health up, which would only help for devil deals. Gives me more cushion to work with. So I've been aiming for Monstro, but it's probably best to take out these other guys first, because they could blow up unexpectedly and get in your way and block you, and then the flies that spawn out could mess with you as well. That's generally what I do for all bosses, actually. I take out the little guys first, unless they're a boss that's constantly spawning enemies. Yeah, his tier spread's a little unpredictable sometimes, but anytime you know he's going to attack, just run away. And look at that. Lucky me, I got a Devil Deal. Now I'm going to wait for Steven, little Steven. He's a familiar that has homing shots. I want to grab if there's a familiar in here that I want instead, I'd rather grab that one first, because I won't have to aim with him very much because of homing tiers. So it's good to have someone that has less accuracy in the front. That way you're more likely to hit with him. So I know for a fact I want this, the succubus. So he has two aspects to him. One is that the black aura around him deals damage to your opponents, so it kind of melts them as he's walking into them. But second, if you're in that circle, you deal bonus damage. If you look at my damage right now, I'm out of the circle, I have 4 damage. If I'm in the circle, I deal 2 damage. So as you're fighting, it's most ideal to follow him. That way, if any monsters are chasing you in melee range, they'll melt to the black aura, but you'll also deal your 2 damage bonus. I believe that damage bonus is different depending on how much damage you have. Don't quote me on that. But either way, regardless of whether it's 2 damage or more, it's really helpful. Now the Ghost Baby, I might want to take it just because my damage is not that fantastic, but the Succubus is going to change that. Normally, taking like Ghost Baby, Sister Maggie, Brother Bobby, it's not that beneficial though. But I am also going to get Steven. Okay, I've decided I'm going to leave this alone, because I do have Steven and Succubus after all. I have no more bombs. I could go to the cursed room, but then I'll be exposed. I won't have any soul hearts for the next level. I did miss a room, however, because I really would like more bombs or keys. I also need a card. I'm going to check it out. And I'm sorry, I've totally ignored this Super Ball because I didn't want it. It allows your tiers to randomly bounce off walls. But as you can see, the odds are so low, it's irrelevant. I don't know if it's based upon your luck chance or not, but I only hold on to it if I don't have a trinket. Hey look, a key. Hey look, a Super Gluttony. Get out of the way. So Super Gluttony attacks in both directions, back and forward. And you see how quick work a Succubus made on him? It's a great item. I almost always recommend taking this as a Devil Deal unless it's going to be a detriment to your run. And now I take this half heart, half soul heart. Gave me a soul heart because I have no empty heart containers. Second hand allows your effects like burning or poison to last longer, but I don't have any right now. I'd rather have more hearts. And now that I have the bonus soul heart, I have a little cushion for next level. So I'm going to give the curse room a try. But hopefully there isn't a stone chest. Well, actually I would have preferred a stone chest over a bunch of spiders. I didn't have any bombs, that's why I didn't want a stone chest. I still don't have money to buy a card either. So this blank card's pretty useless so far. I generally only get the blank card from the shop if I already have access to some kind of card. Otherwise, it's just a commitment that you don't know is going to pay off or not. It usually does, though. Just not every time. So this is where it gets challenging. I don't have that much damage, and all the enemies run up to my face on the caves, because the caves has the worst terrain to deal with, in my opinion. So it's good to have higher damage ahead of time. So I need to follow this guy around. And look at that. The damage is dependent on how much damage you have. So I have 2.5, I'm in the circle, I gained 1.25. Before, I gained 2 damage. So this means that the succubus retroactively increases your damage, depending on how much you have. So he's very helpful. So if I followed him there, it would have been too dangerous, so you don't have to always stick with him, but stick with him as much as you can. I'm going to wait, let these guys blow up the rocks a little bit and form a bridge. So once they're clear, there should be an item there, hopefully, and I can reach it. Not this time, but see, I can go across the bridge now. Those guys blew up the rocks and formed a bridge. So wait for them when you see a room like that. I know the secret room's not here, so I can't use a bomb to get inside, so I'm going to open it up. This is great. So this number 1, it's pretty much, when you grab it, you're going to have capped tiers. Now the downside of number 1 is the fact that your range becomes drastically shorter. Samson has very high shot speed, and the experimental treatment also gave me extra shot speed though. So shot speed in a way is range. So my range is actually pretty acceptable. If I had picked this up without much shot speed and without much range, it'd probably shoot as far as little Steven is right now. It's hard to deal with. But even with that really short range, I almost always recommend number 1. Sure, you gotta walk up to your foe, but when you can shoot twice as fast or a lot faster, then it's usually a benefit. Now, there are times when you don't want to pick up number 1, and the most important time to not pick it up is if you already have a fast tier speed. Let's say maybe your tier fire speed is already at 5, which is the normal cap. And then suddenly number 1 drops. If you pick it up, you're not going to gain a single tier up, and you're just going to lose range. That's a situation where you may want to think twice. So my damage is still pretty weak, but even with that, I can let the succubus wear him out. And I'm going to go ahead and bomb this to get the secret room. I might be able to reach the mushroom, I'm not sure. I did. Cool. But I got nothing out of it. Don't hit both buttons at the same time. Do one at a time because you're most likely going to get a trap. Now imagine if I didn't pick up the experimental treatment. I would be destroying my foe so much faster. Okay, so I'm pausing for a moment because I don't want the succubus to kill those boom flies right away while I'm talking. You want to try to line the boom fly up with the dead shopkeeper and then attack him. If it blows up, then you'll get the shopkeeper's coins if he has any. And even if he drops nothing, it increases your devil deal chance. So that's a way I can do this without using a bomb. Problem is the succubus is constantly damaging around him, so it's going to be difficult to try to time this right, but I'll give it a try. Probably not going to make it. Nope. But I got a pathway to here now, so I got a little shortcut. Same thing with the boom fly there. You can use that to blow up the mushroom and not spend a coin. Or rather a bomb. Due to the layouts of the room, it's very difficult for me to follow succubus in this case. To get the bonus damage. But even with that, he's still really helpful. Since he just damages enemies without giving me the damage boost. You can just walk into them and hurt them. Now, pro tip, let's say your run is awful and your range is abysmal. Let's say you can't even reach the little guys over there at the end. If you truly can't reach them under any circumstance, if you wait, I think 3 minutes, the door will open up automatically. So don't just quit out if you reach an enemy that you can't attack for some reason. Just wait it out. Eventually the door will open. The exception is if it's a boss, but you should be able to reach the boss unless there's some kind of glitch. I'm not doing the curse room yet because I need to... Well, I don't want to lose my soul hearts. I want to keep that cushion, even though it's a 33% chance for a devil deal. Still 33%. So this is bad. I chose to run into them instead of taking a hit from the green explosion. I'm trying to bait them to kill the tinted rock. So now that the tinted rock is destroyed, I can go ahead and clear them out. What would have been better is if I at least attacked them to hold them back. Because I don't need all of them alive to destroy the tinted rock. But at the same time, if I left them, if I killed a lot of them, the succubus might finish them off by accident. For the greed heads, just stay in between them. They'll shoot around you. And keep your distance. If you get really close, both bullets will hit you. Now, it'd be really nice if I can get a single card. I would love to use the blank card. I'm desperate, so I'm going to go to the shop. So I want the hive mind here. I think that's what it's called. And I also want this card. Problem is I can't afford both right now. Now if I had a choice, if I had to be stuck with one of these, I'm sure I could find another card later on. This is a good deal, so I'm taking it. So now if I have any flies or spiders, they'll be a lot larger and deal a lot more damage. It's kind of an investment since the only thing I have that can possibly spawn bugs is if I get damaged. And I try to avoid getting hit as much as possible, obviously. This is where the super secret room is. It can't be to the north, it's blocked off. Can't be here because these two are blocked off. Can't be here because the bottom's blocked off. Super secret rooms are almost always near the end. It only makes sense. I need more money. I can't even bomb it. Alright, well, here we go. Gonna fight the boss. The Stain's a bullet hell fight. Although this is the champion Stain, he's just gonna spawn a ton of those little worms. Just stay back. Make sure that when he pops up, or before he pops up, you give him some space. Due to how fast I kill those white worms, I'm focusing them down as they come. Especially since I don't think he's even going to try to shoot me. I think he's just going to try to spawn worms forever. And you may have noticed he generally doesn't pop up directly on you. He will sometimes though, so as he's approaching, keep slowly backing up so that way he won't spawn right on you. That wasn't so bad. No devil deal, but I did get a blood clot. Now the blood clot, it raises your damage and your range. Now you may have noticed my stats did not go up when I picked it up. That's because the blood clot only applies to half the tiers. Every time you see the red one, that's the blood clot taking effect. That specific tier is what does more damage and has more range as well. Oh, that's right. I have money. I can buy a card. Here we go. That's alright. It's much better than nothing. I would definitely take this over nothing. So now I can use the death card every 4 rooms, or even more than that when I grab a battery. I'm not going to waste a soul heart on a mimic. Now the question is, it's not a question. I know I want to risk it. I'm going for the cursed room. Because now I have the death card, so when things get dicey in the caves, I could just destroy everyone. And that was so worth it. So I'm taking these. I might even get my devil deal by going in these chests. You see a bomb, a troll bomb or super troll bomb, just attack it, you'll keep it back. So I back up while shooting it, give myself maximum distance. The chests were obviously underwhelming, but it doesn't matter. Because I got 3 hearts out of the deal. So that was a huge deal. So that's it. I got everything. All that remains is for me to try out this pill and hope for the best. Keep the distance. Make sure you're not right next to a wall when you use it, in case it's Horf, which will blow you up.
Bombs are...
That makes me sad. I traded my 3 keys for 3 bombs. Now, unfortunately, by me buying that card earlier, I only have 1 coin. I'm not going to get an arcade room next level. Every second level, there's a chance for an arcade as long as you have 5 coins. Samson works very well with arcades because every time he gets damaged, he deals more damage. And arcades usually have a blood donation machine. Oh, thank goodness I got a key. But I would really like some more. Alright, I'm not dealing with this. 3 portals, that's dangerous. Say goodnight. Blank card to the rescue. There could be a secret room here. I would love to bomb my way into the treasure room instead of using a key, especially since I'm low on keys. And this layout right here suggests that the secret room is to the left. Right side's impossible because it's blocked off. Left side has a little opening here. At least I say opening because there's nothing blocking me from reaching this wall. Okay, I'm pretty confident that is the secret room. Because there's a room to the left, makes a little C. I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. So, secret rooms usually have like a C to it. The C in this case is, well, when I explore some more rooms, it'll make a little more sense. But it kind of tucks into a pocket on the map. What will I get? Oh, right. I said I wanted to bomb myself into the secret room. That's not going to happen. I'm an extra room away. So that didn't work out as I hoped. I thought the secret room was here. I'm wrong. I was still right when I bombed it, but my description as to why was totally off. Either way, let's activate this. Now, if I want to be really sneaky, I could also... well, these guys don't blow up on their own, to my knowledge. I don't remember if they do. I don't think they do. But if it was a different type of... I think they're called mulligans. You could bait them right here, attack them, make them blow up, or drop a bomb, and it would kill the shopkeeper. But that combination just did not happen. That card is really nice on the bigger rooms. So here's what I meant by the C, the letter C. Let's say the question mark's not there. There's this little square, there'd be an empty square there, and it'd be in the shape of a C is what would be surrounding it. That's generally where secret rooms are hidden. A lot of these difficult rooms, I can't give you enough advice to allow you to avoid damage. Sometimes it's a matter of practice. You just got to keep playing. Play Isaac. It's always different, so it's really exciting. Eventually you start learning how to dodge certain things. I'll certainly give advice as it comes, but a lot of this, it's just a matter of practice. This room's pretty nasty also. I probably would use my death card if I had my blank card ready to go. Well, I got 4 bombs thanks to the bombs are keys pill. So I think it's here. Yep. There's an Eternal Heart. Don't pick them up until the end though, in case you find a Devil Beggar or a blood donation machine, because if you take one of those, if you get stabbed by it, it prioritizes the Eternal Heart versus your Soul Heart, so you'll lose your Eternal Heart. My death card's ready, but I'm going to wait just a little bit. Potentially, if I find a means of damaging myself, I'll deal even more damage, and that will allow me to be a little bit stronger for the boss coming up. Not the damage I was looking for, because I didn't want to lose a Soul Heart. But either way, I'll be a little bit stronger for the boss now. Even though there's no arcade, I could still find a blood donation machine if I'm lucky. So the analog stick allows you to shoot in all directions, not just north, south, east, west, but even the diagonals. It's kind of gimmicky. It does give you a tears up though, but my tears are maxed. This is not beneficial enough. So I'm bombing this since I don't have money. And epic hack. In the wrong hands, this is one of the worst items in the game, because you'll blow yourself up to Kingdom Come. In the right hands, it's a game-winning item. All my tears now shoot explosively. You have to be very, very careful with this item, however. A lot of the enemies get in your face, and when they do that, if you shoot an Epicac bullet at them, you're going to blow yourself up. But observe my damage, it's 43, and the succubus, I gained 21.5. That is astronomical damage right there. Also, my flies, not only are they larger, but flies are based upon your damage. They don't care about your tear fire rate, they only care about damage. My flies are going to one-shot most enemies. And look at that, I got another bombs or key. So I can spin some of my bombs and swap it out, get some keys back out of the deal. Or vice versa in this case. I want keys, so I could spin my keys and swap my bombs for it. Okay, I'm just going to clear the rest of these rooms and destroy some mushrooms. And then kill the boss. This is pretty rare to happen. This is why I blow up mushrooms if I have a free opportunity. It's a mini mushroom, gives you a little bit more range. Actually, it reduces your range. My apologies. It's the description is wrong. You actually lose a little bit of range. But I gain a bunch of speed, which is what I really need. Now this is where a high shot speed comes in handy with Samson, because that means when I shoot the Epicac, it's going to get out of my way. I'm not going to have to worry about running away from it so much. Fool lets you teleport to the very first square you spawn in. It's helpful if you want to go in the curse room and then teleport out. Saves you from taking one hit. So earlier in the video I mentioned that taking the experimental treatment probably delayed the video by 20 minutes or so. This will probably make up for that. Now I didn't blow up the mushrooms in the previous room because they were way too close to me and they'd blow me up. Oh no, I can't reach that. Doesn't matter. If I want the bomb, you could blow up a bomb to get to it. You might even be able to squeeze your way there slowly and pick it up that way. But it's too risky, and I don't really need bombs that much anymore. Ouch. That was unavoidable damage. Welcome to the Binding of Isaac. Sometimes there's no choice. You gotta get hit. I'm just gonna pop this so I don't have to run back.
Retro vision.
Nobody likes retro vision. All it does is inconvenience you. I think even if you quit and come back, I think it still retains itself. So enjoy the pixels, everybody. I'm going to pop this because I definitely want some more keys. And the Liberty Cap, which also can drop from mushrooms, gives you a random effect per room. I won't gain much benefit from it though. Then again, I'm not really gaining benefit from these extra hearts either. Take advantage of the fact that you essentially have infinite bombs, so blow up every mushroom you can, and blow up any blue flames or purple flames. Get 3 puberties in a row, not in a row, just 3 puberties, and you gain an HP up. And your Isaac looks really sad. He gets all this facial hair and sounds really deep. I always say use your pills at the end. This is close enough. Oh look, another puberty.
Puberty.
Especially since now I'm in a good position. I don't have to worry about pills ruining my day because I've pretty much, in my opinion, won because of Epicac. The Hollow. Whoa. Oh, wow. Okay. Succubus just demolished him. I guess Succubus deals damage based upon my damage as well. I didn't realize that. Game over the Hollow. I have nothing more to say about that fight. HP up. Oh. Okay. So, I want both of these. These are both very good devil deals. I have an overabundance of health. Take your time going through this. You could use the keyboard to go through and just smash down and right really fast, and you'll go through. It's still a little bit dangerous though if your timing isn't perfect. So I recommend squeezing your way through. Now, if you have a chance, try to go the way your thumb goes. I'm using a PlayStation 4 controller. Ergonomically, it's safest if I go from this upper left corner, because it's easier for my thumb to go like this than it is like this. See how I can't do it as straight when I do that? So if you have a choice, go the best way that's most comfortable for your thumb. So same thing here. I don't want to try to go up because it doesn't work as well with my thumb, at least. I don't know about you guys. So go from the top. It's a little bit easier for me. But just take your time, go through slowly. So Rotten Baby's going to practically one-shot everybody. And the item I just picked up, the Dark Hood, forgot exactly what it's called, but that gives me extra damage and some dark hearts. So my damage is off the charts right now. What's even crazier is if I get another familiar like Brother Bobby or Sister Maggie, I'm going to get the conjoined transformation, which makes me shoot 3 tiers at once. Now that actually is probably too dangerous because of Epicac. I actually might want to avoid that. Looking for another puberty pill. So this is awesome. I'm in a very good position here. Devil deals can be very powerful. To be fair though, I got Epicac not in a devil deal, but the succubus is really trivializing the rest of this. It also allows me to attack an enemy without without having to risk attacking him. So the succubus will deal damage. I won't have to shoot my Epicac and risk blowing myself up sometimes. Now thinking about it, I probably should have just kept the world and used that as my blank card. Because now I'm in such a good position that the death card isn't that helpful. And knowing exactly where the exit is helpful. Now bear in mind though, because of the Liberty Cap trinket, I can temporarily see the entire map. Since after all it does a random effect per room, one of the random effects is to reveal the map. But it doesn't reveal the super secret room, but it does reveal the secret room. Although, that's actually not true. I just used the world card. The world card revealed the room, revealed the secret room. The Liberty Cap actually doesn't reveal any secret rooms at all. So that was just a mistake. This is the burnt penny. You pick up a coin and you have a 50-50 shot of a bomb dropping. Guess who has infinite bombs? This guy. I don't need it. I wish I could blow up the mimic and get the loot, but you gotta take a hit. Now in my situation here, the death card I mentioned is not that helpful, but it can be helpful in preventing me from attacking an enemy. Maybe there's an enemy that's hugging me, and if I shoot him with Epicac, I'll blow myself up. But if I use the death card, then I'll deal damage to my opponent without having to risk attacking him. Alright, blow up the shopkeeper, gain a little bit of devil deal, may as well. You may be wondering why this device is here. It re-rolls treasure items if they're there. There aren't any right now. So this is very circumstantial. You have to spawn a treasure item of some type in this room in order to capitalize on it. But one example I can give you is if you have the butter trinket, that will drop your activatable item on the floor, and you can use that to re-roll with the machine. Yes, absolutely. So I'm not going to keep the blank card anymore, but with Guppy's head, I'm going to spawn flies every single room. Right now my flies deal either 67 damage or 44 damage pretty much. So good game everybody. This is only getting better for me. I don't even have to attack. I can just walk through with my flies and just ruin their days. Okay, Technology X. I'm trying to think of what synergy it involves before I pick it up. But let's just see what happens, right? Wow, that is a disappointment. I just lost my Epicac explosions. My ridiculous damage is gone. This is probably the first time I've picked up Tech X and have been sad as a result. My damage is still great, but it's not 64 damage. So Tech X, 99% of the time, pick it up. It's one of the best items in the game normally. Unfortunately, though, it has some non-synergies, as you just saw right there. Now, the only thing Epicac is contributing at this point is it makes my Tech X green and gives poison. At least I'm still incredibly powerful. I guess the plus side of all this is I don't have to risk blowing myself up, but I'm still a little bit disappointed. So this is a terrible item to spin to heart for normally. But there's the dead cat. I already have Guppy's head. I'm 1 away from Guppy if I grab that. Plus I'll have 9 lives. I'm just going to do it. May as well. So it's called Betrayal, and when you get damaged, it charms all your enemies. But it's really annoying if you start using a blood donation machine, because it constantly triggers. I don't get hit that much though, so it's not a big deal for me. It's not as annoying. Even if it was, sure, you have to deal with the animation, but it's still better than not having the item, in my opinion. So I'm taking the dead cat. No matter what, you'll be left with 1 heart. Even if I had 5, I'd be left with 1. So be careful taking the dead cat. In my case, I'm taking it because I want to transform into Guppy. So I'm just going to move on. I'm in a great position to destroy everything. I don't have to explore everything. So same thing about the thumb. Squeeze yourself in. Try to find an ergonomically appropriate direction for you, which is usually the tops. If I had to make a choice though, because my left hand is where the thumbstick is, that moves, I always come from the upper left if I have the option. So just get yourself in, move forward, and then back away, because you don't know if it's going to be spiders or troll bombs. So forward, back up, just like that. If you're on the keyboard, you can still tap your way in. It's just a little bit harder. Why not? Game over. Sad day for you guys. I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit because this is a 1 run. These guys don't stand a chance unless I accidentally reroll my items at this point. But even in the best of runs, if you're not careful, there are certain combinations of items that are lethal. For example, if I had picked up Death's Touch and Monstro's Lung with Epicac before picking up Tech X, all my attacks would probably blow myself up in the face if the tier's size was big enough. Let's do it. Now I shoot 3. If I had Epicac, I'd avoid that because I don't want to risk blowing myself up, but I don't use Epicac anymore. It's not my primary attack. Oh look, an arcade. Oh look, I can't afford to gamble off this stuff. There are circumstances where you might have cash though later on in the level. I mean, you could even find a dollar bill if you're really lucky. So I don't necessarily recommend blowing up the machines immediately. You may want to wait. However, it's a one run. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Although I think I've said it more than once. Don't use pills on Necropolis level 2, or the Depths 2, or the Dank Depths 2. You might teleport to the I Am Error room by accident. It's a very rare chance, but you could get a teleport pill that does that. Ooh, a dime. And then that means you'd skip the Polaroid and the negative, and you wouldn't get to finish your run. Because the only way you can get to the chest or the dark room is if you pick up the Polaroid or the negative. So I have a couple options. I could blow him up to get a higher chance for a devil room, or I can hope he pays out and gives me an HP up or some type of item like that. That's what I'm going for, because I only have one heart anyway. And even if I blow him up, the odds are still not going to be in my favor that he drops a devil deal. Mom's bottle of pills. Hopefully I get puberty? Nope. I don't want to use an unknown pill. It's too risky. I'm going over here because it's best for my thumb. And let's blow this up and see what we get. Awesome. Guaranteed devil deals until I hit the cathedral, or I think it's pronounced Seal. S-E-O-U-L. It's a champion. Normally I'd say circle pretty quickly, that way she doesn't crush you so fast. But with this run I can't really give you much strategy because everything gets decimated in one hit. Book of Belial's nice, but I want Guppy. So I'm leaving that alone. I'm taking the negative. Since I take the negative when I'm in a very good advantage. Since going that way is a little bit harder than taking the path of the cathedral and the chest, because there's less opportunity for treasure items. And I think it's a little bit harder, since you have to fight the lamb when you reach the dark room. Do you see the tinted rock? Right here. Technically not tinted, but it has a little X in the bottom right when you reach any of the womb levels. This room reminds me, I reached a secret room that had an eternal heart before and I forgot to pick it up. There's a lot to remember in this game. You never do perfect, you just get a little bit better at remembering and a little bit more skillful every time. This is pretty funny. And it just gets better and better. So this is the Whore of Babylon. It's the same item that Eve starts with. If you're not Eve, if you have either half a heart or less, which I do, I gain more speed and more damage. Now it's not applying yet. I need to walk out of the room for it to affect. There we go. More speed, more damage. Gonna keep this going. So if I pick up an HP up for any reason, then I'm not going to have Whore of Babylon affecting anymore. Alright, so it's a locked room requiring 2 keys. So it could be a dice room, or it could be a lot of other random things like this. Same thing as before fighting Mom. This is before fighting It Lives. Also known as Mom's Heart if you haven't unlocked It Lives yet. Don't use mystery pills because it might not teleport you to the place you're expecting. I want to go underground to Sail since I picked up the negative. It is possible if you teleport to the I Am Error room that it might take you to the cathedral and you can't finish your run. Ouch. So if you're in a bad situation, you can bomb these right here. They look different than the regular rocks. They have a chance of spawning hearts, but they can blow up as well, so back up. But they can also spawn a placenta if you're very lucky, which gives you an HP up and regenerates your health over time. With placenta, if you're having a really bad run, it can save you. Let's say you have 5 heart containers that are empty. You can go, just leave the game on, go make a sandwich and come back, and your health will be mostly healed by then. I'm not picking up the Eternal Heart. I don't want to lose Whore of Babylon. I guess you could say I want to be a whore. Maybe that wasn't one of my better jokes, but it's too late now. I could edit it out if I really wanted to, but I'll let the world know the truth. Now, this is a piece of cake. Avoid the cursed rooms if you don't have a way of negating the damage in the womb and beyond. It's usually not worth it to lose 2 soul hearts for whatever's in there. There are exceptions to the rule, but it's too risky. Follow the train. That's how you avoid them. Try not to get fancy and just try to squeeze your way in. No, just follow them. Don't forget about your spacebar item. I keep popping Guppy every room. Sometimes people with Guppy forget about that and they're just holding on to it, not even capitalizing on it. Let me explain what just happened there. He died on his own. The red poop murdered him. He just sat here, he spawned on the red poo, and it destroyed him. Not every enemy can be damaged by red poop. I guess that was just a joke room. I don't think that was a glitch. I have plenty of bombs. I'm just going to give this a shot. And when trying for these rooms, stop shooting, because as you saw, little Steven there shot the bomb out of the way and it could have hit me. Or it could have shot away from the wall, which would make me miss the super secret room potentially. There we go. I have a 100% chance of Devil Deal, so bombing the beggar is not beneficial. So I'm going to give him my money because there's no shops to spend money on anyway in the room. And if there's an HP up, I'm going to ignore it. There's an HP up. I'm going to ignore it. I'm not going to stab myself. I don't want to lose soul hearts. They're a bit harder to gain than regular hearts because they're rarer. Goodbye. Now, by having the goat's head, because you constantly have a 100% chance of a devil room, you can walk out and come back, and it's still going to be open. There's no risk, unlike normally when you walk away, the devil room's probably going to be gone when you get back. It ignores that when you have goat's head. It's about time Krampus showed up. The more devil rooms you get, the more likely you're going to bump into Krampus. Okay, so I picked up the negative. so I know to go to seal. In one of my previous videos, I pronounced shield wrong. This game has a lot of unusual words, so sometimes after the video's over I go back and realize what I've done and look it up. So I guess we can learn how to pronounce some words too. Not just teach Isaac, but I guess teach vocabulary. Glad I can help. I'm bombing that because there could be a card. Sometimes you get the Joker from the skulls. I would also kill them for dark hearts if they drop them. But as you can tell by all the soul hearts I have, I'm doing just fine. I ignored the chest. Normally I pick it up, but this run it's a pretty funny run. It's pretty easy. So this is the type of run where I'd fight Delirium with if I had the opportunity. So I deal a ton of damage, and I have a ton of health. Sometimes when you deal a ton of damage, it's still too risky to try Delirium sometimes. So you need some kind of defense, some kind of buffer of health. It's definitely good to have 3 orbitals when fighting Delirium. If you have no orbitals, you're going to get hit a lot because a lot of it is luck based. So, by the way, Ace of Spades changes all items on the floor into keys. I don't need death anymore, so I'm going to take this, and if I find a room with a bunch of coins, I'm going to use it and convert them into keys. Wow, if I had moved around really quickly, I should have converted those. If I moved around really quickly, I could have avoided the laser brimstone. Whatever, just get 2. Well, that's useless for me. 2 gold keys. 1 gold key gives you infinite keys for the level. But you may have noticed my key count didn't actually raise. All it does is allows you to open doors infinitely on the floor you're on. So I didn't actually gain a single key technically by grabbing those. Super Greed can drop a quarter, rarely, but money isn't too helpful for me right now. Now something I got to be cautious about is if I get Curse of the Blind in the dark room. Because every time you clear a room in the dark room, if a treasure chest drops, it's guaranteed to have a treasure item of some type. If it's Curse the Blind, it could be an HP up, and I won't realize it, and I'll lose my Whore of Babylon ability. Satan has 3 phases. There's no skill involved here. There normally is. There's nothing I can tell you that's going to help you to fight him better, really, when you have a build like this. But to tell you at least one piece of information, you can run into his legs after they've landed, and it doesn't hurt you. Still hoping for a final guppy piece. This is why the dark room is not as good as the chest, because instead of getting 4 treasure items here, you get 4 red chests, which don't have treasure items all the time. But I could get another guppy item and be even stronger. No guppy item for me, that's alright. So the Pandora's box, I've said before that it spawns different things depending on what room you're on. Unfortunately, there are some levels it does nothing on. This is one of them. Okay, pick a door. I choose you. Wrong. Now, one thing about the dark room and the chest, if you have a bunch of bombs, you can't bomb your way out of the room and skip it. I'd love to demonstrate, but everything dies so quickly that I don't know if I'll get a chance. I couldn't even see what hit me there. I'm assuming one of the purple projectiles, maybe it was masked by this purple goo. These guys are champions here. They spit out tons of spiders. And they're full spiders as well. Good, I got the golden key. This is the last level unless I fight Delirium. So that's great. Okay, see, look, I'll bomb this. It didn't open. Speaking of that technique, if you don't have a super powerful build, don't be afraid to use that to get the heck out. There's some rooms that are so ridiculous, especially when you have terrible items, that if you know it's not the way to leave, you're better off just blowing up the door. So for Tech X, you don't have to fully charge it. You can just do little rings. And with a lump of coal, it increases in size anyway. But it's going to be the same damage whether it's big rings or tiny rings. Can't really demonstrate it. There we go. Okay. The difference, though, with the big ring is they're more likely to get hit by another laser beam since it's so big. But for the most part, even with a tiny ring, it's going to allow you to shoot more often, and therefore, in the end, do more damage than just shooting big rings all the time. But the great thing about the big rings is you don't have to worry about accuracy so much. Fortunately, red chests do not spawn treasure items like the regular chests do in the dark room in the chest. Still holding out for Guppy, though. I was trying to go back for the battery and reuse my Guppy's head, but Curse of the Maze is making things a little bit difficult. Interesting. Very interesting. So let me explain this scenario. This is a new addition to the game. We Need to Go Deeper's always been there, but when you reach the dark room, if you see these little squares, you can dig them up with We Need to Go Deeper. And there you go. Got a gold chest out of the deal. Pop a fly. That's my third fly item. Therefore, I turn into... So here we go back to the pronunciations. Beelzebub, maybe? Either way, I spawn extra flies. And any neutral fly that's in the room, I believe, turns into a blue fly for me. Also grants me flight, as you can see by those wings. So going back to the shovel here, in order to unlock the Forgotten, you need to dig up one of these holes with Mom's shovel. Now, there's a very convoluted way of unlocking him with that. Instead of me explaining for a half hour how to do it, just look up Mom's shovel or look up the Forgotten if you want to know how to unlock him. But either way, it involves digging up holes, but with Mom's shovel instead of the We Need to Go Deeper shovel. Get out of the way. Kaboom. If I wanted, I could go back for the shovel, grab the battery, and then uproot whatever's in the floor in the other square. Everything's fine, though. I don't need it. Bob's Curse makes your bombs poisonous. It's also 1/3 of turning into the Bob transformation, which gives you an HP up, makes you look like Bob, and gives you a green creep that follows you and that deals damage. This is the deadliest room in my opinion, in the chest or the dark room. If I didn't have such a crazy build, I'd have a rough time with this. That's what you have to watch out for and expect when you go to the chest in the dark room. So it's good to save something. If you have a card that can save you or deal tons of damage to your opponent, hang on to it just for that scenario. Okay, we've arrived. Oh yeah, it also cosmetically changes your bombs into Bob's head. I guess it's Bomb's head in this case. Nope, don't want it. Don't want to have a chance of losing my curse for Babylon. So unfortunately, due to how fast he's going to die, I'm going to have to save the strategy of defeating him for another video probably. But either way, stay back. Assume he's going to use Brimstone in all 4 directions. And thus concludes my run. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button if this has helped you in any way. I'm going to continue this series, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.